下呢段片係 Elon Musk 喺2012年同 Kevin Rose 傾偈嗰陣，第一次公開講佢點樣用 first principles 去思考同創業。我哋一齊聽下佢點解釋。
And then I think it's also important to reason from first principles rather than by analogy. So the normal way that we conduct our lives is we reason by analogy. We're doing this because it's like something else that was done, or it's like what other people are doing.
Me Too type ideas.
Yeah,
Slight
iterations
take,
on a theme, and it's because it's kind of mentally easier to reason by analogy rather than from first principles. But by first principles is kind of a physics way of looking at the world, and what that really means is you kind of boil things down to the most fundamental truths, and say, okay, what are we sure is true, or as sure as possible is true, and then reason up from there. That takes a lot more mental energy.
Give me an example of that. Like, what's one thing that you've done that on that you feel has worked for you?
Sure. So somebody could say, in fact people do, that battery packs are really expensive and that's just the way they'll always be, because that's the way they've been in the past. You're like, well, no, that's pretty dumb, because if you applied that reasoning to anything new, then you wouldn't be able to ever get to that new thing.
Right.
It's like you can't say, horses, nobody wants a car because horses are great and we're used to them and they can eat grass and there's lots of grass all over the place, and there's no gasoline that people can buy, so people are never gonna get cars.
Right.
People did say that, and for batteries, they would say, it's going to cost, historically it's cost $600 per kilowatt hour, and so it's not going to be much better than that in the future. And you say, no, okay, well, what are the batteries made of? So first principles would be to say, okay, what are the material constituents of the batteries? What is the spot market value of the material constituents? So you can say, okay, it's got cobalt, nickel, aluminum, carbon, and some polymers for separation, and a steel can. So break that down on a material basis and say, okay, what if we bought that in the London Metal Exchange, what would each of those things cost? Like, it's like $80 per kilowatt hour. So clearly, you just need to think of clever ways to take those materials and combine them into the shape of a battery cell, and you can have batteries that are much cheaper than anyone realizes.
聽完伊朗講完呢段，你會發現佢嘅思考方式同大部分人真係好唔同。佢唔係由大家點樣做出發，而係由最基本嘅事實係乜開始諗。呢個就係 first principles 嘅力量。喺香港，我哋好多時都習慣跟住做，跟住諗，覺得一向都係咁。但係如果我哋學識用呢種方法去拆解問題，其實好多冇辦法嘅事都可以蟹到新嘅出路。你而家有冇一件事情一直都覺得冇得改？歡迎喺下面留言講下，我哋一齊諗下點樣用 first principles 去睇。如果你中意呢類內容，記得 like 同 share 呢條片。如果未訂閱，我哋個 channel 都記得訂閱埋。之後會有更多類似嘅思考方法同實際應用分享。